This is me, Shita, and good evening. So today we are going to start law of supply. This is part two, and we will see in this law of supply how does what relationship between supply and price, and along with this also we will see changing quantity supplied and changing supply. Okay, so I hope you all are aware with this topic because we have studied in demand itself that we have talked in that changing quantity change in quantity demand and change in demand. Okay, so this is just like a same, but it all but here differs only with supply. Okay, so we will see here that how the supply curve shift. Okay, what are the factors, what are the reasons basically behind the shifting in supply curve. Okay, so coming to the point first, today we will see law of supply. So first of all, what is law of supply? Okay, what does it say? So as we all know, the law of supply, we have talked about earlier, law of demand. Okay, so law of demand, what law of demand, that it just tells the relationship between price and quantity demanded. Okay, but if we talk about the law of supply, we can say the talking about a showing the relationship between price and quantity supply. Okay, quantity supply. Basically we can also say in this other things remain constant. Okay, so this law of supply does so only does talk about only price. Other things or other factors remain constant. Other things remain constant. So what does it mean, other things or other factors? Okay, so if we talk about or if we write here like other things remain constant, that means. Okay, so if we say that other things remain constant, so they would come like income, like government policy. Okay, we can also say in other factors like technique, cost of production. So these are the factors which also determine the supply, as we have seen in the function of supply. So basically, we are talking here law of supply. So we will talk about we will talk about two variables only, that is price and supply. Okay. So if we see the relationship between price and supply, this is what law of supply. Okay. So law of supply, the diagram of law of supply, we can say the supply goes to up. So it is goes to upward direction. So this is just opposite of demand. Demand showing downward slope. This means negative slope, but the slope of supply curve show here positive. Okay, positive slope. What does it mean? If we see or if we talk about that at 10 rupees, producers are selling 15 units of goods, and at 20 rupees, producers are selling 25 units of goods. So as price increases, supply also increases. So we can see here this show positive relation. Okay. So therefore having positive relationship, therefore showing positive relationship, we can say the slope is also what? Positive slope. Is it? Now, if we see that what would be the assumptions of law of supply? Okay. So let's talk about the assumptions of law of supply. Assumptions of law of supply. So there are many assumptions. First assumption is there is no change in the price of the factors of production. So there is no change in the price of factors of production. Okay. And second, we can also write it down that there is no change in techniques of production. So this is the first assumption which he is saying that there is no change in the price of factors. What does it mean, price of factors? So let's suppose in production process we are hiring labor and we are using capital, we are using land. So this is what? This is factors. So payment to land, labor, capital in terms of labor in terms of wage, capital in terms of rent, land in terms of rent. If we are making this kind of payment to factors, this is what factor payment. Okay, factor payment. So there is, if suppose if wage is high, so we can say price of labor is high. Price of labor is high. So this is what price of factors. So in this assumption, talking about there is no change in price of factors. Okay. Otherwise, the assumption of law of supply would invalid. Okay, or does not work if it violates the assumptions of law of supply. Now, second in both, we can say there is no change in techniques of production. No change in technique of production. Let's suppose what will happen if techniques of production would change. So does take place or does we can say techniques is just improved. Okay, whatever the technology the producers are using had got improved. Okay, so therefore improving technology, the supply got increased. Okay, at existing price, at existing price. So this will happen. This we can say in this case, the assumptions of law of supply will law of supply will violate. Therefore, there are certain assumptions given there which must be follow if we follow law of supply. And other things, third, there is no change in to there is no change in goal of the firm. There is no change in goal of the firm. So, whatever the firm poses goal, whatever the firm poses some motives regarding supply, there should be some fixed. Okay, there should not be changed. Okay, the goal of the firm is fixed because of supply regarding profit. Now, the fourth assumption, we can see there is no change in price of related goods. No change in price of related goods. If price of related goods, that means price of substitutes goods and price of complementary goods, okay, price of complementary goods change, then we can say this can violate the assumptions of law of supply. Okay, so there should no change in price of related goods. Price of related goods remain fixed. 5. There is no change in price of commodity in the near future. There is no change in the price of commodity in the near future. In the near future. So, what will happen if let's suppose what will happen in the future When just we can say that some producers or some firm has just talking about in the group that the product of price or the commodity of price may increase in near future. So what will impact if this kind of rumors just is spreading in the group? So this can we can say that if this kind of rumors just spreading in the group, then what will happen? Let's suppose that someone is saying that supply, sorry, price of some certain goods, some certain commodity may increase in the near future. In the near future. Okay. So will happen, we can see that supply in the current or supply in present may decrease. Supply in present may decrease. Okay. So this will not follow the assumptions of law of supply. No, this is not we can say valid. So if if they change, if they change in price of commodity upcoming near future, so we can say this will invalidate the assumptions of law of supply. So they must keep in mind that there should no change in price of commodity in the near future. Then in that case only assumptions of law of supply would follow. Six, uh, the government policy relating to price and production of commodity does not change. So what do you mean by government policy? So we can say taxation and subsidy itself, both. Okay. So if taxation, just taxation government imposes, okay, the tax rate, the high tax rate government imposes in the production or in the commodity. So what will happen? Due to imposition of tax, the price of goods goes up, okay, at the existing price. The price of goods basically goes up, so we can say supply will what? Let's suppose that rate tax rate will just tax rate, or we can say government imposes some certain taxes, okay, on the production. So the cost of production goes up, so this can hinder the supply. Okay, so this will also invalidate the assumptions of law of supply. And talking about the subsidies there should be also constant or no change. Okay, if this kind of change take place in subsidies and government policy related to, we can say this will just violate the assumptions of law of supply. Now, okay. So broadly, we can say the law of supply assumes that all other determinants of supply of a commodity other than own price of the commodity will. So, seeing this kind of assumptions, total six assumptions, we can conclude that law of supply basically tells that assumes basically assumes that all other determinants of supply of a commodity other than on price of the commodity. Okay, so the assumptions we have talked about above. So this is other factors, other determinants other than own price of the commodity. So this assumption is just talking about the other factors price of the own commodity. Okay. Now, what would be the some exception? There would be some exceptions to the law of supply. Okay, as we have seen in the demand law of demand, there were also some exceptions which were talked that law of demand basically does not work if some exception take place in the market. So exceptions to the law of supply. Exceptions to the law of supply. So what are those exceptions? The positive relationship between own price of quantity supplied of community may not hold. Okay. So if we see what exemption, what exception. So if we see exception to the law of supply, so we will, as I talked, that law of demand basically talks about the relationship, positive relationship, not only relationship we can say, a positive relationship does hold. Okay, so this will work in law of supply. So let's suppose that positive relationship of price and quantity supplied does not hold. Okay, does not hold, does not hold, then we can say there are some exceptions to the law of supply. Okay. Number one, agriculture output. Agricultural output. So how we can say that agricultural output is the first one in exceptions, which we can say agriculture, say that agricultural output the assumptions of the law of supply. How we can say that agricultural output does not comes in law of supply. Okay, so we can say that law of supply does not apply strictly to agricultural output. First of all, okay, and as it's governed by natural factors, because this agricultural output does not govern by market itself, but we can say that the agricultural output does govern due to natural, we can say natural factors. So what are those natural factors? There we can see that calamities, disaster. Okay, so if due to natural calamities, there is fall in the production of wheat and crop. So let's suppose that natural calamities does take place, okay, in the country, or the disaster. So natural calamities, due to natural calamities, the whatever the expectations of the farmer were not came true. Okay, so this just fall in crops of production. So there we can say that supply, so price, supply is not more. Okay, so then its supply will not increase no matter what the price is. You can also say, let's suppose the price goes up, but we all know due to taking place natural calamities, due to happen natural calamities, there's shortage of production or crops. Okay, so can we say that we are able to increase supply of agricultural output? No, not so. Therefore, we can say as price go up, but supply does not go up. Okay, because there is a exception. This is the exception to the agricultural output. Now, second, goods of social distinction. Goods of social distinction. So, supply of goods of the social distinction will remain limited. Okay, even if the price tends to rise. So, as price tends to rise, supply of social goods, supply of social goods remain constant. Constant. The third, we can say perishable goods. Perishable goods. What does it mean, perishable goods? Perishable goods, that goods which can we can say, okay, not for long time. So this is what perishable food. Those goods which does not stay for longer, we can say perishable goods. So at a given point of time, seller may willing to sell more of a perishable good because he has some fear that if I do not sell right now, this goods can be kind of goods can what we can say spoil. Okay, so if I do not sell right now or within 2 or 3 days, these goods can spoil. So therefore, due to earning some revenue, I have goods that is perishable goods. So therefore, that if prices lower, okay, they have to supply more. They have to sell more of goods. So supply of goods increases because this is perishable goods. So this also violates the law. Now another topic going to write it down: change in quantity supply and change in supply. Quantity supply and change in supply. So change in quantity supplied and change in supply, we can also write like this, and another way that we can say movement along the supply curve and shift in supply curve. So if we say that change in quantity supplied, this is what? This is movement, movement along supply curve. And if we say that change in supply, this will come in shift. Okay. So there's we can say a large difference between movement and shift. We will see how these factors that affect in movement and what are those factors that will come in shift in supply. Okay. So first of all, talking about movement, movement in supply curve. So what are those factors which is responsible for changing movement in supply? So there, first of all, let me tell you that if we are talking about movement, there can take place in the two way. That is, the first is that extension. So in movement, two terms that we can write like extension and contraction. Extension and contraction. So what does it mean extension? As we all know, extension is what? Some extended at some point. Okay, so we can say that spreadness. Not a spreadness is a we cannot use, but we can say extended, or we can also say expand. Okay, but if we say that contraction, that means shrink and contract. So this extension and contraction is comes in movement. Okay. So let me tell you another point, that is shift. So second point, shift in supply curve. Supply curve. So what does it mean? Shift in supply curve. So increase, decrease in supply. This will come in shift in supply curve. Shift in supply curve. Okay. Now shift in supply curve. Okay. So another point, first of all, we were talking about movement. So as I told that movement extends contraction will take place in movement, and also I make you very clear that what does it movement. So by making diagram or by drawing graph, let me also explain you more clear factors that can factors that is responsible for shift in demand curve. Okay, so this is supply curve. So you can see at rupees 10, 20 units of goods, rupees 15, 30 units of goods. So we can say that, let's suppose, due to some reasons, price of supply, price of supply, or your price of goods, due to some reasons, price of goods decreases or fall down. So therefore, as producers are just watching that, if now let's do our steps. That first of all, that decrease supply, because we all know why. Because we all know that why immediately when price of goods fall. We all know that producer is just working or just working for mainly profit motive. Okay, so he always used to watch that if whenever price of goods decreases, they also tends to supply tends to also reduce. Okay, at 10 rupees, we can say 20 units of goods are supplied. As price increases, as price goes up, the supply of goods also goes up. The supply also extended. This is what extension. So this is what extension. Therefore, this comes in extension of supply curve. So one important point we can see here that supply curve is only one, and along this supply curve, the extension and contraction will take place on the same supply curve. So this is mainly movement in supply curve. So only movement, either upward movement or downward movement, only movement is taking place. Therefore, this kind of supply curve is known as movement supply curve. Now, another point, due to having some supply, price of goods fall down. Therefore, uh, uh, therefore, therefore, price of goods fall down. Therefore, supply of goods also fall down. So this is what contraction. Contraction. As you can see that at, let's suppose that original point which showing E and this showing J. So at this original point E, at price P, we can say producers is selling or supply. As price fall down, and as price, quantity of supply also goes to 20 rupees. Also, so this we can say this is just contraction. Goods are just contracting, or goods are just shrinking from 30 to 20. So this is what contraction. So contraction of supply chain. Okay. One important point which is very much important, that and also noted down, that movement movement in supply curve taking place on the same curve due to change in own price of a commodity other than other than factors. Okay, so this movement we can say movement in supplies are basically changing in prices other than own factors. That means other factors remain constant, but when prices changes, supply extension and contraction will take place. So this is all about movement in supply curve. Okay. Now talking about the shift in supply curve. Shift in supply curve. So what does it mean shift in supply curve? So this type of change takes place when quantity supply change due to change in factors other than on price. So this type of change, this type of change take place when quantity of supplies, quantity supplied changed due to change in factors, due to change in factors other than price of a commodity, other than own price of a commodity. So this is what this is supply. This is shift in supply curve. Okay, we have seen in movement that due to change in price, other than factors remain constant. But in this shift in supply curve, uh, change in factors other than own price of the commodity. So in this shift in supply curve, price is constant, okay, but not other factors. And in movement, price is not constant, but other factors is constant. So this is the difference, and therefore, due to this basic, so in shift in supply curve, first of all, in shift in supply curve, there can be two things which can take place. First of all, in decrease in supply curve. So how we can that this is what this is decrease in supply curve. So this is what this is supply curve. Okay, this is what this is supply curve, and just suppose that price is just constant, because as we talk that in shift in supply curve price will remain constant, and this is new supply curve. So you can see at the existing price, that is Q1 and Q2 and P. P here is showing an existing price, and Q1 is showing quantity, original quantity, and Q2 is supply due to shift in supply curve. So this is what this is original supply curve, and this is new supply A and point B. So this is what shift in supply curve. This is, and let me tell you that forward shift in supply curve is positive change, because why it is positive change? Because due to the factors that taking place, or the change in factors that taking place due to positiveness, like improvement in technology, decrease in cost of production, okay, increase in subsidy, decrease in taxation. So therefore, all those factors, all those regions, supply curve has shifted rightwardly, okay, and downward to the right. So this is what, this is shift in supply curve, and this is forward shift in supply curve, okay. So as we can see that at the existing price, supply has gone up, that is q1, from q1 to q2. So this is shift forward shifting. And now talking about that, so this is not decrease, this is supply in, okay, this is increase in supply, not decrease, okay, because as we can see that this supply is increasing, quantity supplied is increasing at the existing price, therefore increase in supply curve. So increase in supply curve is also known as forward shift in supply curve. Now the last one is decrease in supply curve. So decrease in supply curve will take place if we see through diagram that this is what, this is supply, original supply curve, and this is what supply, that is new supply curve. So we here can see that this is at existing price. So Q1, and this is what, Q2. So this is what, this is upward shift in supply curve. And this is what, this is upward shift in supply curve. So therefore this is decrease in supply curve. You can see at the existing price, due to certain regions, like other than on price, other factors. What other factors? Like outdated technology producers are using, like producer just decreases the producer government is the producer's subsidy, okay. And we can on the other hand we can say government impose high rate of tax, okay. Unfavorable changes that therefore this reason unfavorable changes, supply curve goes up, upward shift. So this up also known as decrease in supply, okay, decrease in supply. So as we can see that quantity supplied decreases from q1 to q0, okay. So this is decrease in supply quantity, okay. So another we can also say that backward, another point, another term, backward supply chain in supply chain, okay. So if you say that what are the regions or what are the cause that can increases the supply, causes of increase in supply. Number one, improvement in technology. As I told that increase in supply, that means forward shift, favorable changes taking place. So improvement in not supply, improvement in technology. Another point, reduction in factor prices, decrease in decrease in the price, decrease in the price of a Competing product. Six can be increase in number of firms. As number of firms increases, supply also increases in the market. Expected fall. Another thing, another point, shift in goal of a firm from profit maximization to sales maximization. Okay, shift in goal of firm from profit maximization to sales sales maximization. Okay, decrease in taxation or grant of subsidy. This also this 9 points saying that decrease in taxation. So decrease in taxation will also help in increasing supply. Okay, so decrease in taxation and increase in subsidy. This both can also help in increasing supply. So this also comes in the increase in supply. So these are the points that we have taken here. Okay, increase in subsidy. Now, if we talk about that, if we have talked the decrease in supply, so this is the points of increase, the cause basically that that are responsible for shifting in supply curve, that is forward shifting in supply. So there are some regions, there are some causes that improvement in technology, reduction in factor prices. These are the causes which are responsible for forward shift in supply curve. Okay. Now the last point is causes of decrease in supply. So here we are talking what are those that are responsible for decrease in supply curve. Okay. So first of all, use of outdated outdated technology. Outdated technology causing causing a fall in efficiency and rise in cost of production. So what happened if producers, if any of the producers outdated technology. Okay, so this will automatically reduce the efficiency. And the other from another point, we can also say that due to decreasing efficiency, due to reduction in the efficiency of the cost of production. Okay, so will reduce the efficiency and cost increase cost of production. Second point, increase in factor prices causing increase in cost of production. So if factor prices increases, what will happen? This factor prices due to increase in factor prices will add on in cost of production. So cost of production also goes factor prices, right? So increase in factor prices causing increase in cost of production. Third point, that increase in price of a competing product, it prompts the producer to restrict their supply at the prevailing price, right? And another point, decrease in number of firms. decrease in number of firms. So in the market, the number of firms has gone in decreases. So due to decrease in number of firms, the supply decreases. Okay, this decrease the market supply because uh, if four let's suppose that in the market four firms are producing or supplying. Okay, but if automatically number of firms goes decreases, number of firms decreases or comes down, what will happen? This will up causing reduction in market supply. Fourth point, expected rise in price of the commodity. Expected rise in price of the commodity. Many of you are just thinking that how expected rise in price can decrease the supply, okay, in current. So expected rise in price of supply will automatically cause decrease in supply in present. How? Let's suppose that many of the producers just have heard that in future price of product goes up. So they are just making mind to produce more and more goods, to supply more and more goods in upcoming future. But they just and therefore due to this reason they stop producing in present. Okay, they stop producing in present. So these are the reasons that these are supply in present. Fifth, shift in goal of the firm from sales maximization to profit maximization. Shift shift in goal of firm from from maximization to profit maximization. Increase in taxation. Increase in taxation or withdrawal of subsidy related to production. Now, what happened that government has imposes a high rate of tax. Therefore, high rate of tax will impact in the production. Okay, so this will just increases the cost of production. So due to having rise in cost of production, producers just decrease supply, and withdrawal of subsidy is also a we can say that withdrawal of subsidy is also responsible for supply. So these are the reasons that supply decreases. Okay, okay. So this is all about the shift in supply curve and movement in supply curve and the law of supply. So tomorrow we will talk about the applied elasticity of supply. Okay, thank you.